All right, can everybody see my screen?
I can see it.
Okay, perfect. Just so you know, I've been fighting my computer all morning, so if you have any problems, let me know and I'll start over again. All right, good morning. Welcome to another Friday morning safety meeting. Today is the last day of July. Hard to believe that that's the case. And last night was the last Thursday night without football for a long time, so that's exciting. So we had a rough week this week. We're 2 days without a first aid injury, 2 days without a recordable injury, and 4 days without an at-fault vehicle incident. Today we're going to talk about blind spots. So what is a blind spot? Blind spot is any area where a person's view is obstructed. We're going to talk about how this pertains to different pieces of equipment and different trucks. Most common one that we see is dump trucks. So if you look at these charts on here, you might have to circle around your tablets and such. But the white areas are areas that they can see from the driver's seat. Anything in yellow is going to be mirror view, and gray is going to be blind spots. Semis in 1 tons, 5 yards, etc. Will have similar blind spot geometry, but it may be different depending on the load and how it's laid out. One thing to remember, and I see it, especially when we start getting guys around dump trucks, but they'll walk between either a piece of equipment like the excavator or especially the paver and the dump truck as they're backing up. And we don't want to put any faith in cameras and stuff like that that may or may not be working. So we don't want to get squished between a dump truck and a piece of equipment, because I can promise you that you're going to lose in that matter. So one of our pieces of equipment that has the largest blind spots, unfortunately, the milling crew is really good about communicating with each other and having guys on the ground communicating with the guys up top. But the mills have huge blind spots, and we really need to be careful when approaching if we're not part of that integral crew. And if we are part of that integral crew, that we're really paying attention to, changes of direction and things like that. So once again, the white area is what they can see, and the gray area is what they can't see at all. So when it comes to rail equipment, we're going to maintain a 50-foot red zone at a minimum. So that's going to be an oval. It's 50 feet in each direction, 25 feet to each side. And you can see, I think that's Ron sitting there on the tie puller. And you can see if you're on the other side of him, there's no way that he would be able to see you. So it would be really easy for him to back you over just because he cannot see you. So just be mindful of that. Make sure we're following all the rules of the rail in this case. More distance may be necessary for specific equipment and moving conditions. We want to be sure that change of direction devices are working. And if you can't see the operator, they can't see you. And that rule is pretty fundamental to anything that we might be doing around equipment. Skid steers are one of those things where guys will jump in a skid steer, and a lot of times it'll be kind of one of the first things that they operate. And when you consider the blind spots between a skid steer and a loader, it's an absolute night and day. So for a skid steer, obviously it's going to be dependent on the make, model, year, all that stuff. But we're just talking huge blind spots, especially over the backside. For loaders, we do have a blind spot, but as we can see from this chart here, there's a lot smaller of a blind spot, and anybody that's run a loader and a skid steer knows that you have much better visibility where you're more up in a perch rather than kind of in the machine. So for dozers, once again, it's going to depend quite a bit on the dozer. If it's open ROPS, you're going to have better visibility, but you're always going to lose visibility over the hood and into the blade. Excavators also can vary a lot, and unfortunately now they have a lot more cameras and things on them to monitor what's going on. But anytime we're going to approach an excavator, we always want to make eye contact with the operator like we would with anything else. Especially with these zero turns and stuff, the engine compartment gets taller and taller and taller, the shorter and shorter the radius gets. So we want to make sure that we're actually making eye contact, because it can be really hard to see over the cowling on those. Haul truck work, which we do from time to time, we do have a lot of visibility blind spots, but we also do have a lot of mirror coverage, which is good. And when it comes to drills and cranes, drills, we need to be moving from either the remote position. I don't know if we still have any that can be controlled from the cab, but if they are, they need to have a spotter behind them. There's absolutely no visibility between the operator and probably 75% of what's around them. And then for cranes, it's going to be crane dependent, how many counterweights and stuff like that, but we need to make sure we're flagging off our swing zone. And just remember that blind spots can be present in any machine, and it could change just based on conditions. Here we have a job that we were doing down in Massachusetts with the drillers, and yeah, we're right in front of the excavator, but if you're close to the excavator near the casing, then he can't see you at all because that box is completely obstructing his view of you. So what we can do, we can get out and look. GOAL is one of our favorite acronyms around here, which we resurface every once in a while and bring it back around. We want to be aware of our surroundings, even if stationary. We want to use our mirrors and cameras, but we don't want to use them to verify that something's not there. We want to use them to see if something might be there. We want to maintain working backup alarms, and that's really important. Want to wear high visibility clothing. We want to make sure we're making eye contact with operators, truck drivers, etc. And just something else to point out is if you are around dump trucks a lot and you haven't been around before, you can always ask any of the drivers, hey, can I just see what you can see? And if you hop in, you're going to see how minimal their view is. So that can really help you stay safe just by, hopping in and taking a look. We want to be aware of blind spots on vehicles and communicate your intention to enter blind spots with the driver operator. If you can't see their eyes, they can't see you. We want to listen for backup alarms and watch for reverse lights. We always want to be aware of our surroundings and watch out for each other, the public, other contractors, and anybody else. And remember, if you're in doubt about a specific blind spot, just ask the operator, the truck driver, whoever else it might be.
As Mike Colby used to say, of course, most of you don't remember Mike, but he was a superintendent here throughout the 1970s, 80s, and 90s. He'd say, stay out of harm's way. And he'd say it a lot. So it's our responsibility to stay out of the way, because I think a lot of times you can't assume that the operator can see you. Get eye contact with an operator before you get in close, because that all of a sudden, you guys can communicate without speaking sometimes. Just get that eye contact and point where you're going to go, and they'll give you a nod. And then that kind of sets us up for success. Watch out for swing zones. And that's a big thing. Anticipate that something's probably going to happen when we're in that close proximity with each other.
Yep. And different trucks and stuff are going to have different blind spots. For example, like Jay's truck out there, I think that's 366. That's got a huge blind spot over the hood. So if you're walking around his truck, you really need to go an extra bit away from the front before you walk around. So that way he can actually see you.
Work forward when you can. It's hard sometimes with skid steers and loaders, because back blading and back dragging is a big backwards operation, and it only takes a second for somebody to stumble and get in your way.
Yep.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay. It wasn't indicating that, so. All right. Speak and act supportively of the company and of each other in public. Try to be positive, try to solve things, and when we have to, we go into private quarters, and then we can have all the tough conversations that we need, but we do it in private, out of the earshot of the people that don't need to hear it, because we don't want to create drama. Thought of this earlier this week. It's all about, promoting positivity out there. And how can we do that? Well, we can enjoy what we do. Happiness fuels our success, right? It helps us to be safer. It helps us, which is our highest priority. It helps us do our best work, which contributes to the quality. And when we're focused and we put the effort in, when we're happy, it makes us more efficient. So that's how it relates to our priorities. When we enjoy what we do, it shows in our attitude and our effort and the results that we achieve. So having passion for our work helps us bring the best every day when we're taking that pride. Enjoying our work helps us stay motivated and work together. When we care about our work, we're more engaged and we're also a lot more committed. So a positive attitude, it supports that safety, quality, and productivity, like I said before. And when we enjoy our work, I think we do a better job at looking out for each other. We make better choices. We focus on doing things right. And it also helps us be in the right frame of mind to find ways to get better. So as all of us are employee owners, our passion and our positive attitude helps to strengthen our team, and taking pride in our work and enjoying what we do, it helps create value for ourselves, for the people that we do work for, and for the future of us and the company. It keeps us healthy too. So thanks for bringing that passion and working together and being positive. There used to be a song called Be Happy. That same guy, Mike Colby, used to put it on the radio back in the 80s or in the early 90s when it was on, and he'd sing along with it on the way to the job site, which used to drive me crazy. But
I can't imagine Mike Colby singing, so
he sang to me. All right, the equipment focus of the week this week from Elliot. Elliot's microphone, I think, is broken again this morning, but I'll do it for him. Use ethanol-free gas in your small engines. It's going to extend the life of the equipment. It's going to improve the way it starts, and it's also going to lower the amount of time that we spend trying to maintain this stuff. So there's key benefits. It has a lot to do with reducing the moisture issues in the engine, in these small engines. The ethanol-free gas, it does not absorb the water, and it lowers the risk of having, separation with water in the tank and corrosion in the tanks and just having water in the gas. It also keeps the fuel systems cleaner. It has less deposits that clogs those little fuel jets in the carburetors that the guys are always having to replace and clean out. It stores longer, so these seasonal pieces of equipment that we use, like snow blowers, we put them away for the summer. When we try to start them in the winter, they don't go because everything gets all plugged up with the deposits and the stuff that's in that ethanol gas. It also helps produce a better life for the fuel lines and the plastic components in these engines, because for some reason that ethanol gas just eats and gets into everything. Carbohydrates and hydrocarbons and carbohydrates and things like that don't do well together, and plastic is a bunch of carbons and hydrogens, and we introduce this stuff in there, and it just makes a mess of everything, and it distorts the structure of the plastics, and it creates a big problem. So premium grade gasoline from Global, which we get our best price on that fuel already. You go to Global, and if you get the premium gas for the small engine, when you're going up to fill your 5-gallon can, get it from Global and get the premium when you fill up that 5-gallon can. If you can't get it from Global, you can always, look around, and a lot of these gas stations will actually, they'll say which pumps have ethanol free. Up at my fuel station up in the Georgia Mobile, they have a separate pump that says ethanol free. It's a separate little pump handle on the thing. So I've had good luck with my snow blowers and my lawnmowers with using that fuel. And Chico and Elliot and Billy, they'll tell you it's a lot of work when we try to pull something out of mothballs for those few months where it sits there and that ethanol raises havoc with them. So use ethanol-free gasoline in small engines. There's a lot of good info there. Thank you, Elliot, for putting that together. He did good. The Wellness Challenge coolers, they're here. Heath's got some guys coming in this morning, I think, as well to pick him up. He's not here quite yet, but he'll be here after safety meeting. He's on his way and he had a little vehicle issue. So if anyone was in here looking for him earlier to get their cooler from him, he'll be here shortly. But everybody that successfully completed the challenge, you should know who you are, and you're going to receive one of these coolers. They're pretty heavy, they're pretty big, and they're pretty awesome. You can always contact Sarah. She's got the master list, and she's ready, willing, and able to help you get them, to get them delivered to yourself and get them home. They're pretty awesome. So I give you Sarah's email and her number here. So that's pretty exciting. New baby. We got one to announce this week. We're gonna have more coming in the next few weeks. I understand we've got some more announcements coming up here. Here's the first one. So the proud grandparents, Reggie and Nancy Hodgson, congratulations. They got a granddaughter, Alexandra Lauren Manning, born on the 19th, 19 inches, 6 pounds, 15 ounces. So there's a nice little picture of a new addition to their family. We get some new employees as well here. Jermaine. Jermaine started this week. He's operating foreman. I think he's up on 2A right now. So you'll get to meet Jermaine. Great addition. Welcome, Jermaine. We've got Tim Maple. He's paving, milling. Welcome, Tim. And we've got Jaden. I think Jaden's up in Swanton. He might be up in Swanton now with the guys. He's on the rail crew. So welcome, Jaden. 3 more this week, and it's kind of cool to have all these additions to our forces. I believe we're probably between 245 to 250 people, which is the largest population that we've ever had here at ECI. Pretty cool. This week we have the project of the week, Beta Technologies Kids Center. Calkins Court on South Burlington, presented by Ed. Hopefully Ed's on. Ed, are you on?
I got you, Ben.
You want me to drive this thing?
Yeah, if you would drive, that'd be great.
I can do this. Thank you. I can drive.
You got it. Thank you. So ECI is contracted with PC Construction for the structural concrete, site concrete, and the site work for a new kids center for Beta Technologies. So it's a pretty cool project because Beta is actually building this as their employees and their families will be the end users of it. So employees there that need childcare, they're going to have it right on their campus through their company. So pretty cool. That's thing. Cool. ECI, we started work in early June, and we're hoping to be done later this summer. There was an existing steel building on the site that was partially demolished before we got there. So some of the structural steel and the existing concrete slab remained in place per design and are being used in the new building. So ECI is excavating and backfilling for the foundation for a new greenhouse that's an addition to the existing building. And we have another 24 exterior concrete piers. And they're going to be used to support additional columns outside of the existing footprint that are going to be used for new roofs for added entryways into the renovated, more new than renovated, but renovated building. So our work included or is including a 6-inch sewer service and as well as a 2-inch copper water service, 3 new drainage DIs and piping we're going to put together, as well as that will feed into a infiltration basin to treat the surface drainage. Underground power and communication conduits will also be put in place. The existing paid parking lot is going to get removed and actually turned all into like grass, planting beds. And then they're going to add new parking along Valley Road, which is adjacent to Calkins Court, where this building is, and for the kids drop off and pick up. So, as well as our civil division or discipline, obviously our concrete crews are involved as well. And when they're done, they'll be placing around 150 cubic yards of concrete when the job is done. So these are just elevations of what the new building is going to look like. The north elevation is the one that would be facing towards the airport. But that's where the majority of the work is happening, on the back side of the building. The next plan is just this site plan, which kind of gives you a layout. The cul-de-sac there in the bottom is Calkins Court. The road to the right is Valley Road. And that's where they're going to be adding the parking spaces. And the next drawing are the structural foundation plans. So I guess the middle of the page and to the right, the longer portion, is the existing footprint, and the new structure on the lower side of the building is where the new greenhouse is. And then the structure on the upper left-hand corner is actually supposed to be like stadium seating for an exterior classroom. But at this point, it sounds like that is going to be deleted, which has been another issue with this project. Like, we started the job and then we started getting plans because it was initially permit sets that we were working off of. And now they're adding like final design plans. So it's been kind of a jumping through hoops to get the work done, but it's been going well. Just it's helpful that it's only half a mile down the road.
Yeah.
Here we are. We're on the north side of the building here towards the airport, digging in and prepping for some new exterior piers. Same thing, north side of the building towards the airport. This is a new kind of goofy shaped entranceway that actually, when it's done, is going to be like brick pavers on the interior of those foundation walls.
Cool.
Here's the same area. The boys placing the stone, prepping it for eventual brick pavers. And here we are. This is kind of like I said before, plans changed after we were done. So the waste blocks are put there because we're backfilling those new piers that we put in, but we had to put the waste blocks so we could kind of finish the backfill, because the piers to the right of those waste blocks have since been deleted after we had already poured them. So obviously we get paid to pour them, and now we're getting paid more to like get them out of the way and and backfill there. So anyways, it's I guess it's similar to the way things with Beta kind of move. They really they push and which is great, but I think sometimes they go beyond what their engineers can do to shove plans out to get the work done. So anyways, just an example.
Yeah.
Here's the boys in the greenhouse area. So the new wall, that's the new wall to the left. It's an addition on the south side of the building for the greenhouse. So we had to put fabric down on subgrade, and then it's 1.5 inches stone, a foot up, or maybe 15 inches. And then once we get that in place, 3 inches of 3/8 pea stone. And then the landscaper will come in, and the whole greenhouse floor is going to be brick pavers. But you can see in the background there where we're obviously compacting, but more towards the guy in the front of the picture. We did a bunch. We're included in our work is underground, under slab plumbing, excavation and backfill. So we've had do a little work with the plumbers on site as well. And here we are. Our original scope of work did not include any demolition of concrete, so we've had to do some to help PC out to get it, to keep the project moving. So here we are with a little hammer, getting ready to demo some stuff.
Cool. Thank you, Ed. That's a cool project.
You're welcome.
On archives, 20 years ago, we put in one of the first purchases that Ken and Scott, big purchases that they made after they bought ECI from their dad, was that they purchased the neighbors building, which is the big main heavy equipment shop that's out back. That has only been in our ECI family since 2005 or 6. And that's when we bought that building up front where the admin is in. There used to be a little alleyway back behind us between the properties, and that's how we got in and out. But this is a project in May of 2006 when we went ahead and we cut that overhead door in. There wasn't an overhead door right there across from Chico's shop. We cut that in, put a new door in, and then you can see there's no pavement there yet, but we put that concrete apron in to put the heavy equipment and trucks on as an entryway to that rear, that side entrance to the shop. So that's, let's see,
looks like a Griswold truck there.
That's a ST Griswold's truck. There's Paul Brunton, John Zeno. There's Ken Pigeon in the second picture on the right there. He's overseeing the project. And then if you look down below in the larger photo where they're doing the screed, if you look in the background, you can see some of our old 90s Chevys that we had. We had a bunch of those. Those babies lasted forever. There's a couple of our ECI. Of course, we didn't have blue trucks everywhere. That we bought whatever color was available. So we got an orange one and a red one. Early 90s, 94, 95s over there. Nice trucks that we had for a long time. But then there's the corner
off Cash for Clunkers on a lot.
That's right. There's the corner of the pit, the shop, and then that we have a new bay there that's just above their head that has the lift in it. That was way before the lift bay was added in Chico's shop. So pretty cool. Figured that those might be some photos that are something to have in the archive. So that's all I got. I'll turn it back over to Tom.
Yeah, have a great day. Have a safe day. If you watched in a group setting, please kick over your attendance, and we will see you guys out there.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.